Very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Buddhist Mahavihara's Dhammadana series Monday Sutta class. And today is the 39th continuous class that we have had over the past year, almost. I think we started last June or July. So it's almost 39 weeks of continuous Sutta classes. Bhante, you like to sit in front? Okay. So, we have with us, after a long break, our teacher, Bhante, Dr. G.Chandima, who's been traveling the world, been to Japan and Canada and back, now in Sri Lanka and back here in KL again. I think Bhante is only going to be here for about a month, but sadly there's going to be a few items or events that's going to take place, and one of which is actually the retreat that Bhante is organizing. Meditation retreat on the 15th and 16th of June. It's a non-stay-in retreat. I think it was titled Gratitude. Yes.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Gratitude, Bhavana. Okay, thank you. Getting old. Okay, so as I mentioned, so today is the 39th class. I don't need to introduce Bhante. I think we've done this 39 times, so it's not necessary. So without much ado, I would now there will be a class next week, Monday, the 3rd of June, even though it's a public holiday. We'll carry on with the class next week, yeah? So without much ado, I'd like to invite Bhante, Dr. Chandima, to start this evening's Sutta class. Bhante.
Thank you, Brother Leslie. Let's get started by lighting the candle, respecting the Buddha. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Bhante, Mahinda, good to see you. And everybody, welcome back. For the last couple of months, we were seeing each other online. And then now we are again seeing each other in person. So looking at the time that we were doing things online, I see some new faces actually, which I could not probably get to know. Some of you, I don't know where you got started the lessons. Probably were you there at the beginning of this particular sutta, or are you really new? Are you previously? Okay, so you've been coming on and off, and then okay, good. Good. So I think others should have the text as well, Pattakamma Sutta. So before we get started, shall we respect the Buddha by saluting? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right. So we left up at a place where we were discussing about 4 accomplishments. These accomplishments are necessary to come true your wishes, lay people's wishes. If I ask something about your homework, can somebody share with us those 4 lay people's wishes that are mentioned at the beginning of the Pattakamma Sutta? Huh? Yeah. How? How should it come to us? May wealth arise to me righteously. I think everybody should have that wish as a layperson. Easy money, quick money can come from different unethical sources sometimes. The first wish of a layperson is that may I acquire wealth in righteous ways, which is little challenging, right? Either someone studies well, or either someone is going to master a certain, I would say, a skill. At the time of the Buddha, a craft, sippa. It's a challenging thing. Nowadays, we don't talk about hard-working people. We are talking about smart working, because people are spending a lot of time in front of a computer, maybe in front of meetings, as such. So the first wish of a layperson is, may wealth come to me righteously, not by harming others, not by cheating on others. Right? The second wish, now the money is coming to you in good ways. Then what do you want? Fame, good reputation. So how does it work? Having acquired wealth righteously, may good reputation come to me and my loved ones and my teachers and then others. Right. It's also a very big challenge to some people. Some people pay to become famous, right? If you see social media, they pay to get views, they pay to get famous. In a world like that, it could be hard to get the honest, true reputation from the right people. Sometimes there are people who are valuing us, but we don't feel it. We want the reputation from the right people, right? So it is also a wish. All these are hard to gain things, hard to gain, but you can make it. That is what we are learning here. Third wish. Long life. Now there is money, there is wealth, and there is good reputation. Now there is a wish coming up to live longer. Living longer is important. It is not because we are going to impede anicca. It is because when we live longer, we can practice more Dhamma. Such a nice thing. Don't try to end the life easily, right? Because there may be some other counter argument. Let's say someone might be diagnosed with a cancer, which is very painful, and I don't want to live. That is a different perspective. But here, do not merely end your life, because that life helps us to practice more Dhamma. Nowadays, many people learn a lot, but no time to practice. Right? The head is full of Dhamma, but they do not go to the heart. The process from head to heart is little difficult for whatever the reasons. But if you ask them, they know everything. Pañña, anicca, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Pancha Nivarana, meditation. But it doesn't mean that the same thing is really reflecting within his or her spiritual journey. Sometimes it might work. Most of the time, it has not worked. Something, somewhere, that is troubling in those people. So, long life. May I have a long life. And the fourth, last wish. Now, death is unavoidable. Death is coming. And we as the followers of the Buddha understand that death is not a thing that is coming to us beyond the life. It is a part of the life. Death is a part. Marana, Jivita means life. Marana is a part of our life. So let's embrace that at the right time. It might be the wrong time we are getting that. It is a part of our life. It's not beyond the life. Right? So these are the 4 wishes of a lay person. Now, what did we discuss after that? Then the Buddha says here, as you can see over here, Okay. Ime sanko gahapati chatunnang dhammanang ittanang kantanang manapanang dullabhanang lokasming chattaro dhamma patilabhaya sangvattanti. In order to achieve these 4 wishes, come through these 4 wishes, you need to practice additional 4 accomplishments. You have to accomplish in 4 things. What are they? Saddha sampada, accomplishment in saddha, trust. Sila sampada, accomplishment in discipline. Chaga sampada, accomplishment in generosity. But we took it little differently. The Pali word chaga. The Pali word chaga means the real meaning of dana. Chajati. The Pali verb is chajati. Chajati means to chaj means to abandon, give up. But the Pali word dana does not always carry the meaning of chaga. But when we understand the Pali word dana, we have to bring the true meaning of dana with chaga. That's why the Buddha uses the word chaga. So dana is a generic word. But the real way how people are supposed to do it is dana with chaga. Dana means giving. By giving, you are giving up. I think we discussed that in an interview some times ago with Uncle Vijay over here. I explained to you that dana and chaga. I think it's clear to all of you, right? If I can write down over here. Give up. This is giving. So the Buddha prefers this Pali word when he talks about dana. So he cherry picks this Pali word, compared to dana. But dana is a generic term. You see dana in Hindu text, dana. But you don't see chaga in the Hindu text. The contemporary Buddhist teachers, you don't see that because we are supposed to give without any strings attached to our giving. Because the results of the dana are complementary. So why do you have to expect that? Now there is a garden here, and you are going to water when it is raining. You don't have to, because it's raining all the time. So, when you are giving in this chaga way, whatever the expectations you are having, may I be a big deva, may I be reborn in this kind of place, may I be wealthy in the next life, all these are complementary, they are coming to you, you don't have to. But when you expect those things, your results will be minimal, right? And the other thing is that there is one sutta text, I cannot remember the sutta's name. The Buddha says, when you expect and do things without, with greed, hatred, delusion probably, then you are getting the things in your next life, but you don't feel that you want to enjoy them. You have couple houses, but you don't feel that you want to sleep in the good house. You have couple cars, but you are always using the worn out, that old-fashioned car. Maybe you are a fan of antiques, but maybe you have lots of food in your fridge, but you always want them to stale and then eat. Expired. Why? You have the stuff, but you don't feel that enjoying them. Why? Because in past lives you have given with expectations. So do not jeopardize your dana. So do it as a chaga. Yes.
Then what if, like sometimes when we do dana, at the end of the dana we do puja and we chant the Vina Kamina.
Yeah.
So we
Why do we recite imina punya kammena?
Maybe, you know,
Yeah.
until we get, isn't that fall under dana?
No, imina punya kammena is the greatest wish, saying that we want to be with the kalyana mittas till we attain nibbana. So, no, that is a different. This is a chanda. There are two things in Buddhism. We call it chanda. Chanda. Chanda means a wholesome wish. This is approved. Then wishing, may I attain nibbana. It is also a wish, but it is not a lobha. It is a chanda. You can see in many suttas Buddha say chandang janeti viryang vayamati chittam pagganhati padahati. So we need chanda. So wishing to be surrounded by kalyana mitta is a wish, because when you are with kalyana mittas, what you are doing is you are going to overcome, reduce lobha dosa moha. But when you say that may I become a deva, may I have lots of comforts in my next life, that's a little bit different kind of wish. So you are expecting things in a little different. So there are some wholesome wishes. They are allowed. Chand. Something little different to our discussion. Okay, so that is what we call by, yes.
I remember previously you mentioned that dana is an act of giving, and then chaga is actually the mental state. Did I remember correctly?
Yeah, chaga, now dana is the primary activity which we are doing when we are giving something. So that is approved in every religion. Even you take Islam, Christianity. But chaga is the distinct word in Buddhism, which Buddha asks us to do while we are in the dana activity. So we have to give up our lobha dosa moha as much as possible. Before the dana, during the dana, after the dana. Right? So chaga is the mental state. Dana is the normal activity. Just imagine a politician is going to approve a project in a politically corrupted country, right? And then there is what you call allocated money, decentralized money, but he has a different purpose of giving that away. He is politically giving that, right? For getting some votes in that particular electorate. So it is also dana, but not a chaga. Every dana is not a chaga. Only some danas are chaga. So try to do a dana that can go to the chaga level. Alright? So we have to go to our topic. So finally, we have to discuss about pañña. Okay? Pañña means wisdom. The last accomplishment as a layperson you are supposed to do is pañña. Please keep in mind the pañña, the Pali word pañña, has lot of contextual meanings. You should not take it as one meaning. Now I always say Pali words carry lot of meaning. Say for instance, evang me sutang ekang samayang. This what you call this narrative stock phrase that we see at the beginning of many suttas, samayang. Samayang you might say time, but the Pali word samaya has 9 meanings. So how do we know that this is the correct meaning? Only when you know the certain context of samaya, then you know this samaya is time. This could be something else. In the same way, pañña has contextual meaning. So do not think that this pañña is that lofty pañña that you are getting when you are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. So then every layperson has to become an arahant to get this pañña, isn't it? Then it's a very clear argument. So this is the pañña for the lay people, right? Lay people's pañña. Let's read about it. Katamacha gahapati pañña sampada. So householder, what is the accomplishment in pañña. Abhijja visama lobha vibhutena gahapati cetasa viharanto akiccang karoti kiccang aparadeti. Okay, so I'm not going to complicate you in Pali or with Pali. I just want to tell you the meaning in simple English. Now, simply speaking, what the Buddha says here about the pañña with regard to the lay people is the absence of 5 nivaranas. But the first 2 nivaranas have been given in little different wordings. What does he say? Abhijja visamalo bhavi bhutena gahapati. Now there is a lay person who is driven with abhijja and visamalobha. I think I already explained to you in many talks and retreats as well. This particular lay person is driven with abhijja and visamalobha. Can we understand what they are? Can somebody tell me what is abhijja, what is visamalobha? Okay. Now, the first thing as a lay person you have to overcome in order to become wise is abhijja and plus visamalobha. Because many people are driven with these 2 akusala states. Can we understand what they are? What is abhijja? What is visamalobha? Abhijja is not avijja, okay? Don't misunderstand. Huh? This is a different one. Okay? Abhijja means, we call it as covetousness. What is covetousness? It is a stronger version of greed. But when we understand these 2, we call them upakkileses. Another word is, I think I did a retreat on upakkileses. I think many of you attended that. You can think about what I did. Teach you. There are 16 upakkileses. These 2 are one of them. So normally we call it abhijja as greed for what oneself has, what I have, what you have. Let's translate that way, easy. Greed for what I have, let's say, in my perspective, abhijja. Visamalobha means it's kind of a distortion about this. This is greed for what others have. Now, this could be a common thing that we may be greedy for what we have because our brain is always self-centered, right? If you were a small kid, if the mother is going to give you a piece of cake, let's say there are 2 cakes, you have another sibling, you are automatically going to pick up the big piece of that cake. Why is it? Because our brain is naturally driven to be self-centered. Only by disciplining, we are going to take the small piece of cake, right? It's always me-centered, I-centered. That's what we are trying to overcome with Sakkaya Ditthi, the first thing to overcome in Buddhism. But if our Dhamma journey, Dhamma work, anything, again, develop this Sakkaya Ditthi, then we will never be able to practice any Dhamma. This is the first thing that we have to work on. So, abhijja means the greed that we have for what we have. What do we have? You may have things in your life. Maybe things, possessions, right? Let's talk about the loved ones, your loved ones. You are always defending them, you are always taking care of them. Your real estates, your houses, even your pets, they all are yours, right? So you are highly caring for them, right? So you might have come to this level, abhijja. Normally when we don't balance out what we like, we will end up with abhijja. Now, visamalobha means sometimes there are people who are also greedy for what other people have. Have you ever found out somebody that you don't know, but he or she is an enemy of you? He or she bad mouths about you somewhere, but you don't know. You have never talked to that person. Have you met somebody like that? Have you heard? There are people like that. They don't mind their business, right? But you came to know this person is bad-mouthing about you. Why? What wrong have I done? It's just kind of a greed about what I have in my life. Maybe I have good loved ones, I have maybe some wealth, I have good relatives, I have a good life. They are having some visamalobha about me, right? So the first thing that you are going to overcome is abhijja and visamalobha. We can talk over and over, but at the moment, let's stop talking about it at this point. We will discuss the rest later. Okay, abhijja and visamalobha. And then, now that lay person is driven by abhijja, visamalobha. Now what is he doing? Akiccang karoti. He or she is going to do what is not suitable, what is not wholesome. Kiccang aparadeti. He or she neglects, ignores what is to be done. Okay? Then akiccang karanto, kiccang aparadento, yasacha sukacha dansati. When he or she is doing things that are not suitable to be done, and what you call ignoring what he or she is supposed to do, then what's happening? His or her reputation and happiness will be destroyed. Because of one of these is abhijja, visamalobha. There are 4 more coming up. So because of he or she being driven by abhijja, visamalobha, greed for what oneself has, greed for what other people have. So he or she is going to expire from reputation and happiness, which is an unnecessary thing, right? Second is vyapada vibhute. The same thing, I'm going to skip that part. Vyapada. Okay, vyapada. Vyapada. Or vyapada, both are correct. Vyapada means ill will. Ill will. Ill will. When someone is going to break the first precept, panatipata, ill will is normally preceded by that particular activity. Ill will means thoughts of destroying other people, other beings. Right? That's why in Buddhism we always talk about the importance of our thoughts. Sometimes you are not killing other people, but you are killing them with thoughts. So, do you break panatipata? Yes or no? Yes. That's why the Buddha is highly respected for not making any akusala, even in a secret way. Arahang, Pali word arahang. Arahang, arahoti namen. So, it is a challenge. You might not physically do it because you are scared of doing it, but you are mentally killing. I want to kill this person. But nobody knows. You are the one who knows. Then you are breaking the first precept. But these Pali commentaries, they are talking, no, you have to actually kill that person. Those are commentaries. But because we know kamma is made up of the intention or volition, it happens in the process. So I just want to caution you. If you are struggling with the vyapada thought, try to give it up at the moment when it is arising. Why are we coming up with thoughts of ill will? Why? Now when I see somebody I don't know, do I come up with an ill will thought? Normally, what are the moments, what are the times where we coming up with ill will? When we know people we know for long term. So our, what do you call? Sanya. Sanya. Our perceptions about the past, perception for the future, they are the ones that are telling me, hey, you have to be mean to this person. You have to be rude to this person because he or she picked on me. He or she was nice, not nice to me, mean to me, rude to me. So these sanyas are telling you, hey, you have to. Then, time to time, there are people who are killing others in their thoughts. They are breaking the... So, ill will is... That's why Buddha says, according to Samma Sankappa, Vyapada Sankappa is a bad thought. So whenever you are coming up with ill will for whatever the wrong reason, immediately try to fix it. Replace it with a thought of metta. That is the talent of your spiritual practice. Okay. So now the layperson, in order for a layperson to be wise, layperson has to work on this ill will. We can talk about the opposites later. Now, vyapada. The third one, I think we can see from here. Abhijja visamalobha, then vyapada, then tīna midda. Tīna and midda. Tīna and midda. Tīna midda means this is about an energy problem in our spiritual journey. Energy is very important in practicing Dhamma. Sometimes you know all the Dhamma, but you are running out of your energy. You are like a lazy being. So you are lazy in the Dhamma. So then, it is going to attack it is going to influence your spiritual journey. Can you think about a moment of time where you were lazy in your spiritual practice? Maybe a meditation that you've been doing every day. Right? Maybe a good activity you've been doing to other people. Maybe you've been very kind to other people. But one day you think about, oh, these people are not kind to me back in turn. So why should I keep being kind to them? So today I'm not going to be kind to them. I'm just going to be myself. So you're going to have lots of tīna midda on that day, at that moment. We don't mind about whether other people are kind to us or not. It's my spiritual journey. It's your spiritual journey. Why do we have to practice by looking at how other people treat us? Right? So, tīna midda can come. It is about energy. So, energy means viriya, samma vayama, right? There are a lot of things to learn about it. So, it is said that tīna means laziness of your thoughts. And midda is laziness of your mental factors. This is kind of an Abhidhamma thing, but you don't have to worry about it. I just pointed out just to see. A thought and a mental factor, they are two things in the higher Dhamma. Now, say for instance, I would say thought is an energy because you can cognize, but the quality of the thought comes from mental factors. We call them cetasikas. Now, let's say lobha, dosa, moha. These are mental qualities, wrong ones. Then dana, metta, pañña.
Brahma Viharas, they all are qualities. So quality part come from mental factors. So when you are lazy in cognizing, in thinking, when you are not trying to think properly, then what's going to happen is that you are not thinking in the proper way, right? You are in a way and intoxicated, so you can't think properly. That is called tina. Middha means your mental factors, the good side of the quality of the mental factors are not coming out, the bad side, they are coming out. You see this Pali word in a sutta. Can you remember? Tittang charang nisinnova sayanova yavatassa vigata middho. Where is it? Metta Sutta. What does it say? Tittang charang nisinnova. When you practice the metta, loving kindness, tittang, you have to practice it while standing. Metta is not a sitting meditation. Did some people think that way? It's not a sitting meditation. Tittang, standing. You have to stand probably with metta. Let's say you sit down, you stand with metta. Then, when you keep standing, maybe you are lining up, you are in a queue, you can practice metta. Sometimes you are so unhappy being in a queue. 30 people ahead of me, these are not actually moving. So, you can practice metta. Then, charang. Charang means walking. Then walking meditation, walking has to be done with metta. I am walking with metta. I don't carry anger or whatever other things. Tittan charang. Nisinno. Sit down like this. Are you sitting with metta? Are you? You are supposed to be. Then, yavatassa vigata middo. What is that? Yavatassa vigata middo. As long as you are awake, vigata middo. Because when you sleep, you cannot practice metta, isn't it? You are that time you are sleeping. But when you are lying down, sometimes you lie down in your bed. At that time, so that time you don't have the bad middhas. You have all the good ones trying to bring them. So that we call as vigata middha. You don't have middha, you have vigata middha. Vigata middha means you are out of middha at that time. That means you have the right mental states, cetasikas. Okay, so in order for you to become a wise person as a lay person, you must overcome abhijja, visama, lobha, vyapada, then tina middha. The fourth one. Fourth one is, as you can see, uddhacca kukkucca. Uddhacca kukkucca. Two, they could be combined, but uddhacca kukkucca. Uddhacca means you need to be, you should not be restless. That means you should be taking enough rest. If you are practicing Dhamma, you need to take some rest to practice. Then, kukkucca means remorse. So, uddhacca means restlessness. Restlessness. And kukkucca means regret or remorse. Okay. This is the fourth thing that you have to overcome in order to become a wise person, as a lay person. No? Now, I want to talk about this uddhacca. Now, in the Abhidhamma, it describes an interesting thing. What do you think about, maybe I'm going to bring up this thing in a different way. What do you think about your day? When you wake up early in the morning, maybe by the time you are sleeping, what do you think? What are the most of the thoughts that are coming up in your mind? Are they wholesome thoughts or are they somewhat unwholesome? Are they dana metta pañña thoughts, or are they mostly lobha dosa moha thoughts? Let's be honest. Mix. That's a kind of a lame excuse, actually. What do you think? What are the most thoughts that are coming up during the day? Are they lobha, dosa, moha, or are they dana, metta, pañña? Or are we practicing dana, metta, pañña by effort, or by default we are having lobha, dosa, moha? By default we have lobha, dosa, moha. Our raw thoughts are lobha, dosa, moha. But by effort we can make dana thoughts, metta thoughts, pañña. A little bit challenging, because we have to work with our loved ones in our family. We have to work with them, deal with their emotions and your own emotions. So that's why it is said in the Abhidhamma, when you are doing an akusala, maybe a lobha, dosa, moha. Lobha has other inclusive akusalas like ditti. Ditti means, ditti starts from lobha, our views, because let's say I have a view, I like my view, I defend my view. So ditti comes from lobha. So dosa has, I would say, issa, jealousy, maccharya, there are a couple other akusala states. Moha is moha. Now, Abhidhamma says, when you are coming up with an akusala, by default, there are other 4 ancillary akusalas that are simultaneously occurring. Let's say now I am becoming greedy. Let's say I am having abhijja. When I am having abhijja, there are other 4 ancillary akusalas are coming up. What are they? Moha, uddacca, ahirika, anuttappa. I have now lobha. So when you have an akusala thought, this is the main akusala. But I am creating 4 akusalas at the same time, according to Abhidhamma. How does it happen? Why I am having lobha? Because I am dissolution in my mind. That's why I am becoming greedy. If I know some Dhamma, I have some wisdom, I am not coming up with lobha. I immediately give it up. Then moha is there. Why I am having an akusala? Because my mind is restless. Every time when you have akusala, your mind is restless. You cannot separate out kusala from akusala, akusala from kusala. Ahirika, the moment I am creating an akusala, I am out of moral shame. I have no moral shame. The moment I am making an akusala, I have no moral fear. So when you have one akusala, there are 4 akusalas that are working at the same time. So that means each time when you have an akusala, you are making 5 akusala states. Right? Interesting, huh? Very interesting Abhidhamma teaching. But now we have a problem. Then how come are people going to be reborn as humans? Now, looking at how we are spending the day, even you are a practitioner, even you know some Dhamma, but still there are many people in this world that we know, that we don't know. They are struggling, in different ways. But why they have the ability to be reborn as humans again? Devas, so humans in particular. Why? It is because when you take this on the other side, kusala side, let's say you do one kusala, dana, kusala state, you are doing a dana, maybe a generous activity, maybe a sila, maybe you are practicing loving kindness, you are having karuna, compassion, you are having what you call altruistic joy, mudita, you are having upekha, equanimity. You can take whatever the kusala state. When you have one kusala state, this kusala state leads to another 19 kusala states by default. That means when you are doing kusala, you are making 20 kusala thoughts. That's why involving in a kusala activity is more powerful than but now don't think I can do couple of good karmas, then I can overpower the bad karma. There are people who are like that. Huh? They are looking at Buddhism from a mathematical point of view. I have to deal with this. Sometimes when you teach Dhamma to certain groups, you have to understand that they are looking at Dhamma from a mathematical. Okay, doesn't matter. I do like 3 bad karma, then 1 bad karma is enough. Good karma is enough, right? But the idea here is that when you do 1 good karma, it is generating another 19 kusala karmas. Kusala state is very powerful. The reason why I brought this up was Uddacha, because Uddacha is a part of that universal akusala, which comes as a simultaneous akusala state. Kukkucha means regret. What is the regret? Are we not supposed to be regretful about our bad karma? How do we understand kukkucha? Now, as followers of the Buddha, how do we understand regret in our life? Guilty feelings. Huh? Even animals also have. Animals also feel guilty. Remember, there is a Jataka story where some animals took precepts due to guilty feelings. Very interesting. I can't remember the name. I can find it out. There were 3 or 4 animals, different animals, who went to an ascetic, asked ascetic, can you please give us precepts? I can remember the first one. There was a very respectable cow in a village. One day when a cobra was going nearby, he stepped on the cobra, so he stung the cow, because by nature. Then the cobra went to a bush and looking at what's happening. Many people got together. They were crying about this cow. They are highly respecting the cow. So then the cobra went to the same ascetic, asking the precept. He's very guilty about what he did. Then there was a bird family. They broke up in the story. Because of the sadness of breaking up, they went to take the precepts. Like that, there are 2 other animals. A very interesting story. So that means kukkucha is there as a motivator to go back to the Dhamma sometimes. So you understand your problems in your life. But what is the difference between that kind of good kukkucha, like in a good way, and the kukkucha here? The difference here is that now when you think about your own spiritual life, let's say before you know a lot of Dhamma, maybe you have been bad-mouthing about other people, some. Maybe you have been criticizing other people. You have not been generous enough. Now you think about that time, but you cannot change your past. You don't have to. Then, but you are not going to be worried about it anymore, because now at this point onwards, you are a good person. So we are understanding the guilty feeling in a good way as a catalyst to get into the good side, to improve the good side, continue the good side. But if you are someone who is always regretful, remorseful, that is going to create dosa. Kukkucha is a part of dosa. Why? What is actually kukkucha? You are in conflict with your past. Isn't it? You are in conflict with your past. You have lots of should haves, could haves, what if kind of things, What if, could have, I could have done it, but I could not. I should have done it, but I could not, I should have. You're always going back, but you never come to a point, healthy point, that Now that is my past. I can't change my past. So I can still start something good at this point. So if you cannot start as such, you are always going back to the past, you are worrying, then that is kukkucca, which cannot help you become a wise person. Uddacca kukkucca. Then the last one. I think last one is very clear. It should be vicikicca. Yeah, vicikicca. Vicikicca means vicikicca. Vicikicca means doubts. Can we not have doubts in Buddhism? Now, if you are a researcher, you have to have a doubt. Huh? You have to hypothesize probably, right, about something. That is a different version. But here, if we have a doubt about Dhamma, we should approach the right people. Because the Buddha says in many suttas, if you are not approaching a good teacher, maybe a lay person, maybe a monk, to know what is kusala, what is akusala, then next life you will not become a wise person. Because that openness should be there, right? Otherwise you think whatever you think is okay, whatever you think is right, whatever you think is correct. But the bending the mind, bending our character in order for a good person is a part to clarify a lot of doubts. Now there are doubts such as doubts about the Buddha, doubts about the Dhamma, doubts about the Sangha, doubts about the previous life, doubts about the next life. Right? How many people are willing to give the hand? Can you tell me my past life? This is my palm. Very much worried about the past life. If somebody like a palm is coming here, I can tell you of past life. Can you please give me your palm? I think many people would like to know. Right? So, doubts about the past life, doubts about the future life. So the Buddha says, if you have any doubts, try to approach a good teacher about Dhamma, try to get him clarified. All right, so now what's happening? Okay, this is the same part. Now there is a second section here. See? Sako Gahapati Arya Savako Abhijja. Now, if you are a good person, according to the Buddha's teachings, we call you as a Arya Savaka, noble disciple. Then what you are doing is that you understand the first hindrance, Abhijja Visamaloba, is a Upakkilesa. Upakkilesa means mental impurity. And Upakkilesa, then what I have to do is that I have to give up. Pajahati. I have to give up the Abhijja Visamaloba. Then you also understand Vyapada, also a Upakkilesa, I am going to give it up. You also understand Tina Midda, also a problem, Upakkilesa, mental impurity, I am going to give it up. You also understand Uddacca Kukkucca, the fourth one, it is a Upakkilesa, we are going to give it up. Vicikicca is the same. Now you are going to work on it at this point. Finally, Yatocako Gahapati Arya Savakassa Abhijja Visamalobo Chittassa Upakkilesoti iti viditva is repeating the same thing. Abhijja Visamalobo Chittassa Upakkileso Pahino. Now, by this time, as you understand, all these are Upakkilesas to your pañña, mental impurities that blocks you becoming a wise person. Now you are working on it. Then at a certain point of that working on it, you are going to really truly give it up, all these things. But this is the most important part at this point. Arya Savako, by doing so, by overcoming, by giving up these five, what is going to happen to you? You are having Mahapañño, Putupañño, Apata Daso, Pañña Sampanna. Now, as a lay person, you are going to accomplish wisdom in this way. You will have a great wisdom. You will have a, Putu means white, extended wide wisdom. Apata dasa, you know what matters in your life. Pañña sampanno, you are accomplishing in pañña. Just keep that in mind. Now I'm going to bring you to another area at this point. What is pañña in Buddhism? Because this is the layperson's pañña. Pañña. Now, the Buddha has explained pañña at different places differently. Okay? At different places differently. Now, this is one place. This pañña is for lay people. So, before you go to practice that higher pañña, you must have this pañña in your lay life. Otherwise, you have overlooked this pañña. You are trying to focus on things that are not really working for you in the first place. Now, the Buddha says, as a Buddhist, as someone who is following the Dhamma, one day we have to become an enlightened person. Arahant, isn't it? Become an Arahant. Now, when you become an Arahant, you will have a, what you call, complete wisdom. You will have a complete wisdom. This is the pañña that you are knowing all the time. Right? This is the highest level of pañña. But before we go to this pañña, in the Noble Eightfold Path, we have to go in a way like this. Pañña, Sila, Samadhi, pañña. Is it confusing? You think that you go back again? No. I'm talking about the Noble Eightfold Path, which we have been doing. Now, lot of people think that their path is Sila Samadhi Pañña. But if you carefully look at the Noble Eightfold Path given by the Buddha in many suttas, he starts from pañña. How do I say so? Samma Ditthiya and Samma Sankappa, the first two path factors are related to pañña. Why is it? Before we touch this sila, precepts, discipline, whatever the thing, we must have a basic pañña about it. How did I explain that? I explained to you this thing with a very small example. What was the example? There is a 3 months old baby. 3 months old baby. When you look at the 3 months old baby's life, this 3 months old baby does not kill. Baby has no idea about it, right? This 3 months old baby does not steal. This 3 months old baby has no idea about what is sexual misbehaving. And this 3 months old baby does not lie. Babies cannot lie, yeah? Normally. They're very honest about it. And this 3 months old baby does not break the fifth one, not taking food and beverages to an extent. He or she doesn't know what are these food and beverages. They cannot eat also that much, so because of their age. So that means the 3 months old baby does not break 5 precepts better than you. What do you think? The baby has a better sila than you? Because baby does not do anything wrong. What do you think? Does that say that the baby has more sila than you? No, just think about it. Now the baby doesn't kill, baby doesn't steal, doesn't sexually misbehave, doesn't lie, doesn't break the 5th precept. What do you think? Baby does not break these 5 out of pañña. So that means mere avoidance is not sila. Mere avoidance of the wrong side of the precept, it's not sila. It is by the intentional avoidance you are going to practice sila. Where does that come from? That intentional avoidance? From samma ditti and samma sankappa, which are from pañña. So even before practicing sila, you must have a basic wisdom. This basic level of wisdom, which come from samma ditti, samma sankappa. Have you ever heard people saying, some devotees, maybe very rare probably, why are you guys going to give dana? Why don't you meditate? Have you ever met somebody like that? More important thing is to meditate. More important thing is to listen to a Dhamma talk. Dana is not important. Have you met somebody like that? Now let's look at it, look at that problem from this point of view. Where does the dana, giving dana, come from in this perspective? Dana is an essential activity, compulsory activity under the samma ditti. There are 10 things to do. Dana is one of them. Taking care of the mother and the father. Is it related to any of these things? Yes. My mother is a special person, my father is a special person. They are 2 of the samma ditti activities. Somebody might think just because they took care of me, I have to give back. But Buddha says, not even that. If you don't take care of them, you are not going to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. You may have problems with them, but still, you are doing your part. Now that means, in order to go to these sila precepts, you must have a basic pañña. So then, this context of pañña is a different level. Higher pañña is number 1, then the basic pañña. Then let's go to your lay people pañña, third one. What are the other types of pañña? Can you remember any other pañña? Anyone can remember any other level of pañña? Now we talk about context 1, context 2, context 3, context 4. That will lead to this higher pañña, yeah. But there are specific paññas in the Buddhist teachings, the suttas. If you go to Digha Nikaya's Sangiti Sutta, Sangiti, I can't remember the number, but you can look it up. Digha Nikaya has 2 suttas, Sangiti and Dasuttara. These 2 suttas were taught by Arahant Sariputta. Why? Before Arahant Sariputta passed away, the Mahavira Nigantanataputta passed away. Once he passed away, his disciples started quarreling each other because Mahavira did not compile his own Dhamma. So different disciples started making their own ways of Dhamma. Like when a famous teacher passed away, his disciples going to teach that teacher's Dhamma in different ways. They are going to be enemies between each other, among each other. It happened to Mahavira. So Arahant Sariputta, no, I am going to do a council before even Buddha passed away. Actually, Arahant Sariputta passed away before the Buddha. So these 2 suttas are kind of councils, living councils. So in the Sangita Sutta, Arahant Sariputta said, under the triads, he talked about 3 types of pañña. The first one is Suttamaya pañña. Then the second one is Chintamaya pañña. Third one is Bhavanamaya pañña. Okay. Now these are also kind of basic level of pañña. Now say for instance, when you are learning Dhamma from books, from a teacher, online, you are getting a certain pañña through hearing or reading, Chintamaya. Now after you heard, after you learn, after you listen to, then what is happening? You are trying to rationalize what you learn. Now maybe after 10 o'clock, you might be rationalizing what I taught here today, what he said today about different contexts. You are going to rationalize. Is it true? How do I understand it in my life? That is called rationalizing. So then you are creating that pañña, you made it through listening to a rationalizing level. Wisdom you are gaining through rationalizing. Then when you rationalize, you understand there are certain things to practice. I have to practice Dhamma, develop things. So when you are practicing, you are getting another level of wisdom. How do I put that? When you practice metta meditation, after a certain time, you will come to a certain wisdom. Oh, I did not see in my books, but now I feel for myself. I know how to do it. Earlier, you are not a very patient person, but you have been practicing patience for some time. Through that practice, you are getting a certain hands-on wisdom. That hands-on wisdom comes from Bhavanamaya pañña. I would say wisdom through the practice. What do you think about the difference between wisdom through hearing Dhamma, wisdom through after rationalizing and then practicing Dhamma? Could there be a contrast? There is a contrast. That means when you practice Dhamma, you see for yourself. Let's say few years back, somebody might think I'm a very hot-tempered person. I become very easily annoyed, indignated by others. But later on, as I learn more Dhamma and then do a daily meditation, then I feel that I'm now distancing myself from that kind of hot-tempered nature. Now you have brought this wisdom through listening to wisdom through practice. So this is another context. Context number 4. Another one. Nissarana pañña. Anybody has heard this before? Nissarana pañña. What is this? Nissarana pañña. Very interesting pañña for the lay people. Now the Buddha says, for the lay people, when you are enjoying sensual pleasures, lay people have to enjoy sensual pleasures in a healthy way, not becoming infatuated. We have Pali words, agatito, amuccito, adinava dasavi. You can enjoy karmas, but not becoming infatuated, not becoming insane about the karmas. Some people, they go insane about karmas. They are even writing, I'm so insane about this food, never heard about, never tasted. So don't become insane, don't become infatuated. By looking at the adinavas, the repercussions, bad repercussions, then under these 3 conditions, go for your karmas. But when you are enjoying karmas, enjoy karmas with nissarana pañña. Nissarana pañña means, I want to have a good house, I want to have good people around me, I want to have money, but I know one day I am going to give them up. I know one day I am going to leaving them behind. You are using them with these conditions, with Nissarana pañña. Nissarana means you know that you have to leave them behind. That is called Nissarana pañña. So now there are 5. I think that they are enough for today. A lot of pañña otherwise. So 5 paññas. The highest pañña, then the pañña with regard to the Noble Eightfold Path, pañña for the lay people, and pañña about how people learn Dhamma, how they rationalize Dhamma, how they bring that Dhamma to the practice, and the pañña with regard to how they practice sensuality. All right, I think we have almost come to last 15 minutes. Any questions? Before the questions, I want to reiterate. As a layperson, in order to accomplish wisdom, you must give up these 5 every day as much as you can. Greed is normal, but do not become trapped onto your greed. Try to understand this is a greed. And if I have a greed, if you have a greed for what other people have, try to understand it is also a problem in my life. I have to give it up. If I cannot do it today, at least one day, I want to give it up. So that determination should be there in regard to the first one. Second one, ill will, which is such a bad thing. Nowadays, there are a lot of experiments where people got cancers because they've been angry people for many, many years. They have angers about other people. So we are supposed to think about metta. I think I discussed metta a lot in many other past talks. We discussed the opposite of vyapada. We said there is a pre-practice, there is a during practice, there is a post-practice with regard to metta or anger. That means when you are getting angry, can you practice metta during that time? A little difficult, very challenging, right? So I think when somebody reminds you, hey, you are angry, you have to practice metta, you become more angry at that time, you know. I have so many reasons to be angry. You are talking nonsense. They can be open like that. Because now there is a no point return. That means what you call practicing metta is a pre-practice. I must have practiced metta before become angry. Then during the time, I'm going to accept my anger. I have to accept my anger. That's it. Right? And as a post-practice, I'm trying to look at how I behaved, how I if we do a post look about our anger, we would find out how evil we were. It's good to write down what the thoughts that are coming to your mind when you are angry, and you will understand exactly. So that is the opposite of ill will. So we are supposed to practice metta according to the Metta Sutta. Not that easy way, right? May I be well, happy, peaceful, no harm come to me, no difficulties come to me, no problems. Problems are coming to us. They must come to us. Right? That is an easy prayer. You can do that. Metta should be practiced according to the Metta Sutta. We must have practiced 15 skillful habits. And then there is a separate blog post in my website, so you can see that. That's how we are supposed to do. Tina Midda about energy, Uddhaca Kukucca about restlessness. In order for you to practice more kusala, you should take some rest. In that, I want to highlight about sleep. Sleep is very important to become a good person. You might think, what is the purpose of sleeping, you know? Let's say you are staying up. The next day, you are not ready to think about what is happening in your life. You are angrily responding to other people. So a good sleep, unless there is a special event, very important, right? And at the same time, having meals at the right time. Sometimes you are becoming very angry, very annoyed. When you also don't know what has happened. But the problem is you haven't had your meals, right? So taking meals at the right time, sleeping for the healthy amount of hours, and then having some cleanliness, right? Some purification of your body. Sometimes if you are not taking care of yourself, you think that the whole hell is within you. Take care of yourself, because you are going to purify mental states. So if you don't take care of your body, purify your physical body, you are not going to able to do that. So, and then the Vichikiccha. All right, any questions about pañña, accomplishment according to the Pattakamma Sutta? This is the pañña you should practice initially. Would you mind going to that mic? I think they are recording. Yeah, please.
Hello. Okay, Bhante. Just now you were mentioning in order for us to practice Sila, Samadhi, Pañña, we need basic Pañña.
Yeah, so
okay,
it has to go from pañña, Sila, Samadhi, pañña.
Okay, my question is basic Pañña. I would say not every one of us intrinsically have it. It depends on our upbringing as well. What if we don't have it? How do we get the basic pañña to actually determine which is right or wrong for us to practice? Because I'm sure, because now we are in this surrounding, basic pañña to us is very common. Imagine we are not in this type of Buddhist surrounding. I think there are 90% of the people out there, I don't think they will even have a basic pañña to even determine what is right and wrong to practice. So how do we develop that basic pañña if we don't have it?
This is not my my own thoughts. These are coming from Samma Ditti and Samma Sankappa, the first two path factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. So, how to practice the basic pañña? It is by practicing Samma Ditti and Samma Sankappa. So, you have to practice Samma Ditti and practice Samma Sankappa. Thereby, you are practicing basic wisdom that will help you to start your Sila practice. Not 90%, I think 99% people do not know. They directly go to Sila. Some people even don't do Sila. They go to Samadhi first, meditation first. Then they get lost. Right? So, basic wisdom means that you need to know what is Samma Ditti, what is Samma Sankappa. Samma Ditti means, the Buddha said, we have to have 10 views, good views in our thoughts, in our attitude. Giving dana is important, taking care of mother, taking care of father, approaching the wholesome people. There are 10 things as such. There is another post in the blog. And Samma Sankappa means we have to create 3 types of intentions. One is Nekkamma Sankappa, renunciation thoughts. Second being thoughts of metta. Third one is thoughts of not torturing other people, not bullying other people. Thereby, you are having basic wisdom. So if you say many people are ignorant, they don't know, that means they don't know these 2. We did that in our previous classes last year when we are studying about Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Please, yeah.
Good evening, Bhante. Isn't that the Samadhi referring to the right view, right understanding of the four noble truth, and which is the fourth noble truth is the Noble Eightfold Path?
Do you know that there are 2 people practicing the Noble Eightfold Path? One is an unenlightened person. one is an enlightened person, according to the Mahachattarisaka Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 117, I think. So, the Samma Ditti of the unenlightened people, like many of us, is having those 10 views. Samma Ditti of an Arahant is what you said just now. Four Noble Truth. That is the Arahant's Samma Ditti. We have not come to that point. We are going to that point after this pañña. And Arahants practice 8 plus 2, 10-fold Noble Eightfold Path. We only practice 8-fold Noble Path. So that is the difference. So understanding the Four Noble Truths, the depth of the Four Noble Truth is applicable to the Arahants Samma Ditti. Just because they became Arahants, they do not stop practicing Noble Eightfold Path along with 2 other path practice. So that is for them. For us, we have to practice those 10 attitudes. That's how we are going to have Samma Ditti. So don't worry about the Pali words. The reason why I pointed out, then you know that they are true Dhamma words you can learn. I think hopefully I explained enough. Or any other questions about today, or maybe Pattakamma Sutta? Now let me ask you, if somebody asks you, can you describe pañña, wisdom in Buddhism, how do you explain to that person from today? Good question, right? You may go into a discussion. Maybe you may discuss with somebody. That person might ask, what is pañña in Buddhism? Then you have to tell that person, this pañña is a contextual concept. So we have to understand it by context. So there are 5 contexts here. A lot of people talk about this lofty pañña. Lofty pañña means nibbanic pañña. That is the highest level, but we are not touching that level at this moment, right? So you as a lay person have to start from the lay people pañña. Actually, they are none other than the pancha nivarana, but these 2 are different, you know, the first 2. 5 hindrances. Yeah. So lay people's pañña is trying to overcome pancha nivarana. 5 hindrances. This pañña can be translated as this way: enjoying sensual pleasures with knowing that you are leaving them behind. You are leaving them behind one day, but just because of that, you are not going to stop using them. You are still going to enjoy them without being infatuated, without being insane, without by understanding the bad repercussions of unhealthy karmas. All right, any more questions? Otherwise, you will have vichikiccha, all right? That is bad for your pañña.
All right, it seems there are no questions. I hope that then the discussion was clear at this point. And then we can wrap this up by transferring good karmas. So today, what we discussed was how to practice wisdom as a layperson. So you can only practice wisdom as a layperson by reducing these 5 things. Actually, they are, in other words, pancha nivarana. The only difference is you don't see kamachanda. Kamachanda, the Pali word kamachanda is replaced by a very interesting hybrid term, abhijja visamalobha. Right? Kamachanda is just sensual pleasure, but this one is more towards the lobha. Because when you are a lay person, it is normal for you to become greedy about what you have. And some lay people, they are even going one step further. They are even greedy about what other people have. So that is a big issue. Then vyapada, tinamidda means greed for what I have, greed for what others have, ill will, that means thoughts of destroying other people. Even character assassination is a part of ill will. I think I haven't explained that. Character assassination, that you are writing things on social media to destroy someone's reputation. You are spreading misinformation, sharing misinformation. You might be a trustworthy person, so everybody who knows you will believe what you are sharing. Bad mouthing about other people, they all are part of ill will. Really, really bad hindrances to your lay life to grow as a good lay person. And then tinamidda, about laziness, you should never be lazy in your Dhamma practice unless you are sick. And you should never be restless and regretful. You should understand you have to take enough rest to practice Dhamma, and you have to understand the healthy guilty feeling and then the unhealthy guilty feeling and the doubts. So by knowing these 5 and also understanding the other 4 contexts of pañña, lofty pañña, first one, second one is about the Noble Eightfold Path, third one is your lay people pañña, fourth one is pañña about your how you gather information about Dhamma, listening, rationalizing and practicing, and then the fifth one is nissarana pañña. It's about your sensual pleasures. You are supposed to enjoy your sensual pleasures, but you should not fall prey to your sensual pleasures, because you know that you have to give up them, you have to leave them behind when you pass away. So then you are creating a certain moral boundary, moral compass to your sensual pleasures. All right. May all these good karmas that we've been making today by learning about pañña sampada, accomplishment in wisdom, be transferred to all the departed beings. May all the departed beings be well and happy. May they finally attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu hontu ñātayu. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika also share all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you. Good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety. In particular, may they bless your Dhamma journey. May your Dhamma journeys become seamless, consistent Dhamma journeys, not become stagnate and lazy Dhamma journeys. And finally, may Deva, Naga, Mahitika also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata ammehi sambatang punya sangpadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ittavata ammehi sambatang punya bhuta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ittavata ammehi sambatang punya sangpadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Akasatta ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhang tuluka sasanang. Akasatta ca bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhang tudesanang. Akasatta ca bhummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhang tumang paranti cirang rakhang tutwang sadati. At the end of any good karma, we are making the great wish. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas till we attain Nibbana. Kalyana Mittas do make a change. Self-motivation for the Dhamma journey is not sufficient enough. We need to be surrounded by Kalyana Mittas. We need their influence. So let's wish, may we be in the company of Kalyana Mittas till we attain Nibbana. Thinking thus, we're going to make this wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we've been making today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddhapachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha atu nibbana sampatti iminati samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That's the end of our Sutta discussion today, day 39, and wishing you a good night, safe journey back home, and we'll be seeing you next Monday at the same time. Thank you. Good night, everyone.